Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Michael Bullock. We are awaiting the presence of Anthony Florio. We don't know if Anthony might have computer issue. Oh, I stand corrected. Anthony Florio is now about to make his way into the room right now, so he is here. Anthony, perfect timing. We haven't even started the show yet. So ladies and gentlemen, what we gonna do, as per usual, Smackdown Live, then followed by AEW Rampage. And guys, we're just gonna dive right on in. So first up we had was basically a promo segment that had Sonya Deville, and she was going to come out and say that basically Ronda Rousey was going to be fined $100,000 and be suspended indefinitely due to her actions that happened a week ago. That was what I was thinking was going to happen, and she was going to lay down the law. Well, Adam Pearce came out and said that, well, Sonya, you didn't notice you didn't get the email. What email? An email from Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And he goes on to state that he rejected the petition of the fine and the suspension of Ronda Rousey, and also said that that Sonya Deville would not be allowed to interfere. In other words, cannot lay her hands on Naomi during the SmackDown title match tonight. That was supposed to be Naomi versus Charlotte Flair. If Sonya disobeyed that law, her job would be seriously in jeopardy. Naomi comes out and basically gets her hands on Sonya Deville. I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not, but yeah, we'll wait and see how that plays out. Anthony Florio, it's yours. It looked like Sonya was gonna try to throw her weight around, but for once, Mr. McMahon, via an email, thanks to Adam Pearce, basically is like, nope, that's not happening. You're not. You abused your power and you went a little overboard with this. So, your call.
Vince McMahon, right? Is it just me, or does Vince McMahon write the longest emails of all time? Beyond that, this was a suitable segment that finally halted some of Sonya Deville's abuses of power, gave Naomi a moment of revenge, and set up a match for later in the night that should be relatively one-on-one. For Naomi, it was a segment months in the making. It was nice to see her walk the aisle confidently, stand opposite Sonya Deville, and show her the lack of respect the WWE official afforded her since last September. So I don't know what else there is for me to say. I could probably say by default this was the segment of the night. So even though it wasn't, overly earth-shattering, but thankfully something was done about this. My only criticism is, why did they wait until now to do this? Why couldn't they have done this, like, say, a month or two ago? But they obviously wanted to keep it going for storyline purposes, storyline progression, I guess. So, but whatever. So, but at least someone finally got in Sonya's face, and I couldn't think of anyone better than Vincent Kennedy McMahon to do it. As much as we poo-poo on him, this is one of those rare times where we actually give him major big ups. So big ups to Mr. McMagma on this one. So really not much more to say. I mean, the only thing that I think would have been better is if he had done this in person. I mean, I would have loved to have seen this in person. I would have loved to have seen Sonya, grovel and, plead her case, run her mouth, and then Vince goes, shut up. But
I was just about to say that, Florio. I was going to say that if Sonya tried to explain herself, Mr. McMahon would have said those words, shut up.
Shut up. And by the way, that Vince McMahon shut up thing is another one of myself and Bullock's running gags during our our traditional Raw chats, or if we have any, we don't have too many SmackDown chats nowadays. It's usually the Raw ones, but when we do them, that's one of our running gags, especially when we see Vince McMahon on TV with Austin Theory. So, but anyways, default segment of the night, and Phenom Michael Bullock. All I can say is, as I give it to you, it's about damn time that somebody finally put Sonya in her place. And as much as we poo-poo on him, we couldn't think of anyone better to do it than Mr. McMagma.
Yeah, all I can say is, why did it take this long for somebody to basically slap Sonya Deville's hand and say, hey, knock it off. You're abusing your power, and this is not going to be tolerated. This is not what a WWE official does. And as much as we dislike Mr. McMahon, thank goodness he finally intervened and tells Sonya, knock it off. You're abusing your power, and I'm not going to tolerate this. And if you even think of getting involved in that match with Naomi and Charlotte Flair, your job will be in serious jeopardy. And if that is the case, Florio, she may hear those two famous words that we like to hear come out of Mr. McMahon's mouth. Let me do it.
Set it up.
Sonya Deville, you're fired.
It's coming soon enough.
Oh, it's going to come soon enough for her. And couldn't have happened to a much nicer woman. So, yeah. By default, this is indeed the segment of the night. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except, Fletcher, let's get on to the next portion of SmackDown.
First fight of the night, it was Los Lotharios versus The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E. When it was all said and done, Los Lotharios gets the win. 10 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Second best fight of the night for me. I'm going to give this in excess of 3 to 3.25 stars. Los Lotharios have been a great team despite their lack of consistent television push, and there is no better way to provide them some much-needed credibility than by having them knock off 2 former WWE champions clean in the middle of the ring. While this may not have been up to the level of their match last week, it was still a damn fun bout that further demonstrated the extraordinary chemistry of the teams and sets up a potential rubber match in the near future. Hopefully, the strength of the ring work does not embolden WWE to overexpose the matchup, because it is a rare one that could inject the Blue Brand's tag team division with a freshness it can desperately use. So, 3 to 3.25 stars. The biggest win, no doubt about it. This is the biggest win of Los Lotharios' tag team career. Could it lead to some even bigger wins down the road? You never know. But before I give it to Bullock MF, I mean, I had us doing a funny commentary moment with when Los Lotharios did that little kiss cam there and basically pulled the Young Bucks. You know what the Young Bucks do with Adam Cole. You know what that little funny ha-ha shtick they do.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did it to that baby girl, to the baby girl that was there, I had you going, oh, and then I even had you throwing in a little grrr on that. And you were like, how you doing, baby girl? Yeah. And becoming a little bit of a Los Lothario yourself. And man, that's something. Because I'll tell you, that baby girl, woof, I don't blame them. So I don't blame them. So, and hey, if they make that a part of their shtick, I'm for it. So we can have some fun with that on future shows. But for right now, all kidding aside, this was the second best fight of the night, 3 to 3.25 stars. And Michael Bullock, what can you say? I mean, biggest win of Los Lotharios' tag team career. And after this win tonight, could it lead to bigger wins down the road? Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to wait and find out, but this is definitely the biggest win for Los Lotharios. I mean, get a win against the caliber team of the New Day. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Somewhere down the line, they could get a future shot at the Smackdown tag team titles somewhere down the road. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, 3 to 3.25 stars is my rating on this. And yeah, Fletch, I mean, this has got to be the biggest win for Los Lotharios since they became a team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Biggest win of their careers, a big win to knock off the caliber of a Kofi Kingston and a caliber of Big E. So yeah, no, I can't really disagree with anything you guys have said there. I thought they did a really good job with it. Solid for what it was worth, and yeah, big ups to them for getting that huge win. And now we move on to what undoubtedly was going to be the next part. There was a sit down interview with Roman Reigns. We're not going to get into that. Then we had Aaliyah versus Natalia. Now, this was a unique match because this was under Dungeon rules, which means that this match had to end in a pinfall or submission. And in this match, this had no rope breaks. Unfortunately, Natalia does win the match in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, putting the sharpshooter. Aaliyah reached to the ropes, but under Dungeon rules, there are no rope breaks. This is the equivalent of pure rules of Ring of Honor. This was a pure rules match of Ring of Honor. Now, normally you're allowed 3 rope breaks, but after the third, you cannot break. You cannot have a breakage on that because it's under Dungeon rules, which is Hart Family Dynasty, Hart Family Dungeon. Anthony, you know these rules by heart. You know, being the true diehard of the Hart family, so you know this from this infamous Dungeon thing. And yeah, so Michael Bullock, if you want to talk about it, we can. But after the match, Natalia was trying to assault Leah a little more, got interrupted by Zaya Lee, and Zaya Lee basically was the difference maker on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you could basically say, I mean, Natalia finally got the best of Aaliyah, but yeah, I guess Natalia wanted to do more because of losing to Aaliyah in the past in humiliating fashion, but Zaya Lee said, not on my watch, so I got a feeling we're going to see a match with Zaya Lee and Natalia somewhere down the line, so Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, look, Aaliyah's story is amazing. You know, this was an underdog thing, but I think this was one of those times where I actually don't mind her loss. You know, Natalia was playing under her rules. This was her type of match. Dungeon rules is definitely a staple of the Hart family dynasty. So obviously, this is one of those matches that Aaliyah, it would not have made smart booking if Aaliyah won this match. There would have been it would not have been smart. This match was literally meant for Natalia more than anything else. So to give her the win here, fine. She gets the win back, you know, after a couple of embarrassing things. So now she's got that. But she also made an enemy out of Zaya Lee. Zaya Lee now is on her radar because she's probably thinking, hey, you're just messing around with a great young talent and maybe a friend, because remember, you know, NXT's people kind of stick together more than anything else. So you got that storyline going on. That's going to be interesting to watch down the line. But at the end of the day, solid for it was what it needed it to be. There was really nothing more to add here. it was exactly what it needed it to be. Natalia getting a winning back, which was something that she probably needed more than anything else. And there's really nothing more to add. But like you said, Michael Bullock, what's going to make this very interesting is what are we going to get now? Zaya Lee versus Natalia. That might have some very interesting matchup because of the two clash of styles. You got really the Heart Dungeon type of a style of Natalia against really a unique wrestling style of Zaya Lee, with the kicks, with the martial arts. So that could be a very interesting clash of styles. Anthony Floyo, as I hand it to you, this was kind of a no rating because the match was short, but there's definitely a lot of storyline progression that came out of this.
The match was too short to be meaningful, and the inexplicable disappearance of the advertised stipulation showed just how invested the creative team was in the bout. At least the arrival of Zaya Lee suggests a new rivalry for Natalia, one that should help with the development of Zaya Lee into a bona fide main roster star. Hopefully, it does not spell the end for Aaliyah, who is a great underdog babyface. So you definitely had to give Natty the win here. I mean, she was due, and Aaliyah got over on her enough. So, but hopefully some bigger and better things will be coming down the pipeline for Aaliyah in the near future. But for right now, Zaya and Natty appears to be. It looks like Zaya Lee's next on Natty's card here. So let's go. So you want to talk about be a woman fight? There's a be a woman fight right there. So whenever they do it, I can't wait. So with that, no, it depends. What was it, like a 4 or 5 minute match, MF? What was that? What was that time on that? You said it was like a 4 or 5 minute match or so?
Yeah, this was about about 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, 3:40. Yeah. It would be about a 1 to 1.5 for the effort if I had to rate it, but didn't really mean anything. So, but at least Natty got a win here. So, at least you wanted to make her look strong, especially if she's going to start feuding with Zaya Lee. So that's all there is to say. 1.5. I could probably say worst fight of the night for me. So let's move on.
Actually, I think I found a more worst fight, but we'll get into that in just a minute.
Second worst fight then.
Yeah. No. Then we had ourselves a promo segment by Sami Zayn with the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura. There was really nothing more. It was just to develop the storyline, adding to their possible rivalry for the for the Intercontinental title. Then after that, we had Happy Corbin versus Cesaro. Happy Corbin wins the match in 3 minutes and 55 seconds. That was the worst fight of the night for me. They absolutely did no justice in this one. Corbin was there. Cesaro was there. This should have been a lot more better than what it was. I'm not even wasting any time.
And that's why, Fletch. And I'm sorry to say this, and sorry to interrupt, but I mean, this makes Cesaro look so bad here. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, and we said it so many times. This guy once challenged for the Universal Championship, but ever since then, he has gone right down to the bottom. Period. End of quotation. End of statement. Cesaro deserves way better than this.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's no doubt about it. I'm not even going to argue with that one. Next up we guys have was the main event of the evening. The Women's Smackdown Championship on the line. Charlotte Flair versus Naomi. Winners of the bout in 19 minutes, 55 seconds, and still the SmackDown Women's Champion, the Queen, Charlotte Flair, fight of the night. Holy freaking crap. 20 minutes? Okay. This is absolutely what the SmackDown Women's division needed. A quality main event excellent match. And on top of that, it was a clean win. There was no debate. Charlotte won this clean. No arguments. Sonya Deville didn't get involved. Naomi shined as a star here tonight. She is definitely earned a lot of stock in this performance. Charlotte Flair obviously needed to win the match. There was no doubt about it. If Charlotte would have lost this belt, would have been shocking. But for her to win it the way that she did was a great matchup. I loved it. Then on top of that, you had Sonya Deville come out after the match. That was perfect. You brought Ronda Rousey out. That was great. Now you can set up maybe a tag team fight at Saudi Arabia. Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville versus Naomi and Ronda Rousey, because you can protect all four women, and plus on top of that, you're also protecting the main event of WrestleMania. At least one of the main events of WrestleMania. So I think this is actually a perfect idea. The main event itself, 4 stars. I'm going out there. I'm going on a limb. 4 stars. Fight of the night. Florio, it's yours.
With all due respect, MF, I think you underscored it. I think it deserves better than that a little bit.
Whoa, okay.
I'm going to give this in excess of 4.25 to 4.5. This to me was the fight of the night. I do agree with you, fight of the night, absolutely, by a country mile. But I think you underscored it just a little bit. 4.25 to 4.5, I believe, is the correct rating for this. That was a damn good, legitimate match of the year candidate. Charlotte Flair and Naomi tore the house down with a wildly dramatic match that had the fans believing a title change was imminent. That is a testament to the performers themselves, but proof positive that the months of positioning Naomi as a sympathetic babyface forced to overcome the unfair treatment at the hands of WWE official Sonya Deville has worked. This loss does not hurt Naomi by any means. She hung with the best women's wrestler in the world, coming within seconds of winning the title. If anything, the emotion she showed throughout the bout will only further endear her to fans who appreciate how much she loves wrestling. The post-match sets up a tag team match pitting Naomi and Ronda Rousey against Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. If so, that is a blockbuster encounter that stateside would be hot enough to headline a premium live event. Oh, wait. Foreshadowing. And yes, Michael Bullock, you got it. It was announced. I came across this on WWE's Instagram feed. And yes, Michael Bullock just confirmed it in our little chat here. We will see it. SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and WWE official Sonya Deville will square off against Ronda Rousey and Naomi at the Elimination Chamber premium live event, or as we call it, pay-per-view. I don't like premium live event. We're calling it pay-per-view. We don't give a damn. Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Saudi Arabia. Oh boy, Saudi Arabia was already big enough. It's already big with the 2 chamber matches and Becky Lynch against Lita for the Raw Women's title. I mean, and even the one bad match on the card actually got elevated a little bit with Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. Their match is now going to be Falls Count Anywhere. That actually has a chance to maybe be better than we thought. I'm not holding my breath on that, but we'll have to wait and see. So that definitely makes that a little more enjoyable. So you thought the Saudi Arabia show Crown Jewel back in October was something. Oh, wait until we get there come February, come next week, next Saturday night or afternoon rather, because we're getting it at high noon here. So there's really not much more for me to say. This was the fight of the night. 4.25, 4.5 stars. I believe that's the appropriate rating for this. If it wasn't for the commercial breaks, I probably would have been on the verge of 5. But either way, it was chock full of some of the finest Shakespearean drama you will see. And that was the best WWE women's match I've seen in quite some time. So I don't remember the last time I saw a WWE women's match that damn good. It's been a little bit. It's been a minute, but they brought it here tonight. So well done, Charlotte Flair. Well done, Naomi, and thank you for keeping Sonya away. Sonya coming in after the match, more than fine, no problem, whatever. Water under the bridge. So that's all there is to it. 4 1/4, 4.5, fight of the night for me. And Michael Bullock, I mean, after what we saw at the end of it, Tag Team Teddy does it again. We're going to have ourselves a tag team match, player, in Saudi Arabia. You feel me? Holla.
I can feel you on that, player. But how about this, guys? I mean, we not only got one, but 2 women's matches in Saudi Arabia. And, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, when they first started doing these shows, they wouldn't even allow women. But now we got 2 of them. Man, I cannot wait for this one. I mean, yeah, this basically sets up perfectly. And, yeah, I mean, when you got Ronda Rousey and Naomi against Charlotte and Sonya. So, cannot wait to see that go down. And, yeah, we're going to get a little taste of WrestleMania early. So, yeah, 4 1/4, 4.5 stars for this main event. A great way to close out this edition of Friday Night SmackDown. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to add to it. So, Fletch, let's get on to overall thoughts on the show and then get to Rampage.
That's going to be lead off by Anthony Flaio. Oh, by the way, for all you hockey fans out there, if you're watching the Olympic hockey right now, first intermission of the big game, USA versus Canada. The Americans currently hold a 2-1 lead right now after the one. The game is right now on USA Network, live from Beijing, from the National Indoor Arena in Beijing. And this is it. This is the big one, guys. I know a lot of people are a little mad because it's not with the NHLers. That's fine. You know, they weren't really worried about COVID. But these are some of the guys who were drafted by some of these guys. So you see a lot of AHL, a lot of college players. But as of right now, first intermission, USA 2, Canada 1. That's a brief update. Anthony, it's yours on overall review for SmackDown.
And the main event alone lifted the rating of this show to 7 out of 10 for me. Without it, it probably would have been another meh rating. But you had that match, which stole the damn show. New Day and Los Lotharios are the next great are the secondary tag team program on SmackDown behind the Usos and the Viking Raiders. In that championship feud there. And the sit-down interviews with Roman and Goldberg were both short and sweet and to the point. I thought Roman's was a little better, but Goldberg was just as fine as well. And even that opening segment, even though it wasn't the best, it was still, a storyline progression moment, a long overdue storyline progression moment, but we finally get one nonetheless. So, but the body of work of the main event alone, and if I'm overscoring this, I don't give a damn. I mean, I know maybe 6.5 would probably be the appropriate rating, but because of the main event, I'm bumping it up to 7 based on that body of work alone. So, yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the best women's matches we've seen in quite some time, especially in WWE's world. So, and these are the women's matches that, that made the women's revolution what it was. And hopefully we'll start getting more matches like this, especially now that we're pretty much now in the heart of WrestleMania season now. So very well done there. So that stole the show. New Day and Los Lotharios. Go out of your way to see those 2 matches. Check out the opening segment. And I'll even recommend this at the sit-down interviews with Roman and Goldberg. Everything else you can skip. So, solid 7 out of 10 from me, based on the main event alone. So, Michael Bullock, I mean, like I said, if I overscored it, I don't care. But that's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. That main event alone lifted this from a meh show to a yeah show. Not an overwhelming yeah, mind you, but a good enough yeah show nonetheless.
Yeah, I'll give it about maybe 6.5 to 7 for this edition of SmackDown. I mean, yeah, the main event literally saved the show. I mean, if it weren't for this, it would have been another meh show. I mean, you got this, you had the tag team match, which I thought was good. Some of the promo segments were okay, but yes, 6.5 to 7 for me. Fletch, it's yours, and then it's on to Rampage.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, guys. I thought this was really good. No, nothing more to play, nothing more to say here. 7 out of 10 is my rating as well. SmackDown had a good week. The main event definitely saved it. I think, like I said, Charlotte and Naomi both came out looking like $1,000,000 here tonight. They both had a great performance. It was a great matchup, and everything that they did was absolutely perfect. So yes, nothing more to say there. Now we go to AEW Rampage, starting it off with a match that, well, we were waiting for. The whole world was waiting for this one. Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta going up against Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. When it was all said and done, the Young Bucks wins the match in 13 minutes and 21 seconds. This was a solid opener. This is easily a 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. It was good tag team wrestling as we expected. This is what we were when we heard how this was going to play out. This is exactly what we were going to get. Solid matchup, solid opening. Look, the outcome was never in doubt. Unfortunately, I think we all knew that this was going to be the outcome and how it was going to play out. So there's really nothing more to add here. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This match started out like any other tag team bout, but as time progressed, all four men picked up the pace to make this a potential match of the week performance. I say potential because, no, that was not the match of the week. We just talked about the match of the week right there. The outcome was slightly predictable, but how they got there was a ton of fun. Rocky Romero might have been the MVP, but all four guys deserve credit for making this entertaining. The Danhausen cameo was funny and did not ruin the flow of the match. Throwing comedy into the middle of any match is a risk, but at this point, the best friends have proved they can do it well. 3.5 to 3 3/4, one of the fights of the night for sure, no doubt. So, with that being said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I mean, I thought this was a solid match to start off this edition of AEW Rampage. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to add to it. So, let's move on, Fletch.
All right, and we do indeed move on. Next up, we had a non-title match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, going up against Robin Renegade. Dr. Britt Baker wins the match in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
2.5, 2 3/4. This was Robin Renegade's Rampage debut, so it would have been easy to understand if AEW had booked this to be a squash for the women's champion, but that is not what happened. Dr. Britt Baker made Robin Renegade look like a competitive fighter who had a real chance to defeat her at different points. They worked well together to make this an entertaining performance. So I'll give this in excess of 2.5 to 2 3/4, teetering on 3. So not much more for me to say. Michael Bullock, not a bad Rampage debut outing for Robin Renegade as she hung with the women's champion.
Yeah, I thought it was a good first match for Robin Renegade. I mean, when I first heard of this match, I thought this was going to be a delicious squash. But no, I mean, she hung in there with the AEW Women's World Champion. So, but I mean, obviously afterwards, that was not enough for her. She tried to put the lockjaw on and hurt her, but Thunder Rosa basically came out and saved her. So, you know, guys, somewhere down the line, Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker are destined to face each other for the AEW Women's World Champion. But of course, first off, she's got to go through Mercedes Martinez in a no disqualification match this Wednesday night on Dynamite. So we'll see how that goes. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2.5 stars for me. Solid match. Really nothing more to add. Next up, we had, well, one of the most over guys in AEW right now, Hook, going up against Blake Lee. Hook wins the match in 2 minutes and 51 seconds. We don't really need to talk about this one, guys. We will get into the main event of the evening. Michael Bullock, you're leading off on this one. It was the Gun Squad. Austin and Colton Gunn going up against Jurassic Express, winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. And still, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, they win it again. Michael Bullock, another day at the office for the tag champions, another successful title defense.
What was the time of the fall?
12 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a solid match here. I'll give it about maybe 3.25, maybe 3.5 on this one. I mean, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, it's too soon for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus to lose the tag team titles. So, yeah. So I'm interested to see who's going to be next in line to challenge these two for the tag team titles. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, the champions stay the champion.
Yes, they do, and it was a very successful title defense. Props to them for winning it. Props for them to successfully defend it, and give credit where credit's due to the Gun Squad. They actually really they pushed them. This was their best match, and I'll openly admit it. Colton and Austin had a very good performance here tonight. This was a big moment for them. Main event for a title, and they looked really good in here. So props to them. 3.25 is my rating for the main event. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Right there with you. 3.25 stars. While this didn't quite reach the levels of excitement we saw in the opening tag team match, this was a fun and competitive title bout that gave the Gun Club a chance to shine outside of Dark and Elevation. We all know how good Jungle Boy is, but it feels like Luchasaurus does not get enough credit for what he brings to the team. He moves so well for a guy his size that he ends up looking better than some of the smaller guys when he does things like standing moonsaults. So I will give this 3.25, teetering on 3.5. So second best fight of the night. I thought the opener was the fight of the night for me. So not much more to say. Let's get into our overall review.
Overall review, I got to give it another 7.5 out of 10. I thought they did a really good job. There was a couple of matches that I didn't really care too much about, but the two tag team fights are the ones you really want to see, especially the Young Bucks versus Roppongi Vice. If you're a diehard of New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is the match for you. You finally get to see that one. You got to see why this was such a fierce rivalry for a number of years, and you got to see it right before your very eyes, folks. This was a really good matchup. And then, of course, the tag team title match between the Gun Club and Jurassic Express. That one was really good as well. So more than anything else, two solid matches. The Dr. Britt Baker was good. I think it could have been a little better. And then we're not even talking about Hook, even though his was a pretty impressive performance, but that was kind of an expected squash. So nothing more to say. Florio, 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, 7.5 for me too. AEW Rampage continues to deliver an hour of solid wrestling every week. This is a good formula for AEW, so hopefully it continues to work this well. Young Bucks, Roppongi Vice, the fight of the night. Opener was the fight of the night. Main event, the tag team titles was the second best. Dr. Britt and Robin Renegade was the third best, and then Hook obviously the worst fight of the night. Even though those showcase matches, continue to impress. And let me tell you, that kid's going to be a star. I'm telling you right now. he's going to be a big star many years down the road. He's got so much life left in him, only 22 years old. Yeah, he's got a lot of life left in him, and he could be he could be just as big of a star as his old man was. We all know how big a star Taz was, especially in the old ECW. MF knows that better than any of us, so we'll see. So 7.5 for me. Bullet, take it home.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me. I mean, I thought this was a good edition of Rampage here. I mean, obviously, the first match was definitely the fight of the night. I mean, you also had a very good AEW World Tag Team title match. The Dr. Britt Baker match was okay. I mean, it could have been better. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say. 7.5. So, nothing more to say. Let's well, I'll give it 7. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's call it a night.
All right, we will indeed call it a night. On Monday night, we do it all over again, starting off with Ridiculously Raw, as this is our go-home edition, as we're getting closer to the Elimination Chamber that will be happening next Saturday, from Saudi Arabia. So it's the usual program, guys. So we're going to do Monday Night Raw, Tony's Take, which is 205 Live and Impact. Then on Wednesday Night Mayhem. Thursday, Strictly Sports, the fallout from the Super Bowl. And more importantly, we got a lot on the docket. We got NFL honors. We got the Hall of Fame induction announcements. Obviously, the Super Bowl. And then we also got do you want to do the All-Star recaps, Anthony? Because I know, and there was a lot of trading deadline stuff, so we got a lot to cover. How do you want to do this?
I know exactly how we can do it. I think we should save the. I think maybe we should save the Super Bowl for the main event. All right. What we should do is we should. Well, we don't really talk about the Pro Bowl anyway, so we can bypass the Pro Bowl. The NHL, we can definitely get into the NHL. We can recap the NHL All-Star festivities. I know you want to get into. I mean, and there were also some more NFL coaching carousel hires, especially your Miami Dolphins. They have a new head man, so we'll dive into that. And New Orleans found their man. We'll get into that as well. We'll also talk about. I know you want to get into those NBA trades that you sent us in the messenger. I know you want to get into that, so we'll add that to it. Let's see. And then for a double main event, we'll preview the NBA All-Star Weekend festivities next week, and then in the main event, it'll be all about the Super Bowl festivities, NFL honors. Yeah, NBA All-Star, then the NFL honors, and then our Super Bowl recap will be the main event.
All right. And then 1 week from tonight, another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, Smackdown Live, AEW Rampage, but this time we're also adding something else, the preview of the Elimination Chamber. So that's it, guys. We're done for tonight. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Mike Bullock. As always, thank you guys. As always, like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share it to all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. And oh, by the way, it's something we never do. Subscribe to us. Anthony's got a channel, The Tone 25. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to my channel, RaceFan95, both on YouTube. And also like us on our Facebook pages. We got Facebook pages. We got Twitter pages. If you want all the content wrestling form, you'll find it there, guys. Until then, we'll see you guys on Monday night. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Bye-bye.